Now, as you can see here, our income here has plummeted quite dramatically here. However, the council did recommend we move this fleet just momentarily here, readjust its position on the line, and oh, look at that! Look at that! I wonder the raiding really has proved so beneficial towards it. Really has. Ah, that's a shame. Oh dear, dear me. Where are they going exactly here? Starting to move forces up into here now. Yep. As I suspected. If they come for us here, yes, I absolutely knew it. They're going to go all the way around and join there. Come under our, this is going to stay under our control here. We don't mind this, but they clearly sent this force here to try and get Crimea. So they're going to try, and that's a powerful force they've got there as well. So this is going to be quite the fight. Greetings and welcome to episode 61 of my Empire Total War Darth mod Great Britain campaign. This, my friends, how we left it last time, where we are fighting, my friends, for the very future here of the Crimea. Now, as many of you can see, my friends, we've had to sally forth here because the Crimea is under siege now by a very powerful Polish army. As you can see here, it is littered with the very finest units here the Poles can possibly muster. We have Royal Polish Cuirassier Guards, some of the finest cavalry you'll find. They've also got Guard Grenadiers, we've also got Marines, late Marines indeed, sir. They've got some blunderbuss, which a shotgun here, sort of blunderbuss shotguns, which I have to confess I have not seen in battle yet, but I would assume that if they get close quarters, that's going to do a huge amount of damage. It really is, but we hopefully can deal with those before they reach us. They do have then sort of a mixture of militia, guerrilla mercenaries. I've got a lot of mercenaries here as well. They've got two mercenaries, not a lot of firepower. Now that could be our sort of blessing here. They do have dragoons, of course, and the standard mixture of line infantry as well. But it's more of a sort of a mixture. There's no sort of coherent structure here to this army. Now, we mustn't become complacent. We mustn't assume we're going to simply walk over this army. This is going to be a very tough fight indeed. Now, as you can see, we outgunned them considerably here, 2-1. Also, we outmatched them here, I would say, with our heavy cavalry. Now, they do have these two Royal Cuirassier Guards, which are formidable foes indeed. So, but they've also got two regiments, one regiment of horse, another provincial cavalry regiment as well. Now, as you can see, the mixture, it isn't consistent at all. They don't have any consistency here running through this army. It's more like it was just thrown together to sort of deal with this, our sort of Crimean bastion. Now, has been a massive call by the council, which I will go over once we have completed this battle here, my friends. Now, it's a very, very important of what the council have requested us to do. It absolutely turns this campaign on its head. It really, really does. It actually turns the campaign complete 360. And because the council have called for this change, we will in fact be doing it, my friends. It will have to be a staged plan, because the proposal of the council, actually each member of the council, almost every single member of the council, has actually put this proposal through separately from one another. So as you can see, it is a very, very important proposal. I intend to carry it out. The council has spoken, and thus it shall be done. But our first task, our first mission, must be to deal with this attack here. The Crimea is still important to us, because it will in fact be used as a sort of as an asset, should I say, further down the line, to carry out the council's will. So let my friends begin the battle here. Hopefully it will be the first, perhaps the last battle of the Crimea for now at least. But let's take the fight. Let's give the Poles a bloody nose at least. Let's show them we're not here to simply be cast aside, sir. Not a chance. Now remember, we took the Crimea after a real brutal fight with the Russians. It really did, require us to throw in at least an army group, and a considerable army group, an army group that wasn't sort of made up of sort of our standard line infantry. It was an elite army group led by, of course, Field Marshal Ernuk. And can we indeed inflict a similar damage upon? Oh, look at this! Now, as you can look at that, and there is testament to the battle. There is testament to the previous battle. Look at that. The walls here have been absolutely ripped apart. I mean, look at that, still smouldering here, and they really have taken a sound thrashing here. Now, we are assaulting, of course, so we're going to have to get ourselves out onto this field here, and imagine, are they going to attack us? There's the key question. So if they're going to attack us, then that means we're going to have to stationary troops here, potentially in the armory as well. And we do have a lot of cavalry, thankfully. So the first thing we're going to do is get our cavalry into position. Oh, look, we've got quite a large deployment zone here around the fort, which is good to see. We've got this sort of small hamlet here, although we could use a town hall here, but that would probably be the first target for the guns. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to set ourselves up as though we're defending this fort, but if we have to move out and attack, then by Jove we shall, sir. And look at this artillery support. What a wonder. I mean, it is an absolute joy to see. Now, I think we'll set our infantry up as though we were defending the walls. If we do have to move them out and attack, then we shall. But if they attack the walls here, then it will definitely put us in a much better position. We've got to be careful here, because this wall has already taken a huge amount of damage. And we're also probably going to have the 41st Foot Guards, the garrison guards, defending this gap here. Slightly off centre there. If you would, please, gentlemen, thank you. Put them on guard mode. These are going to be the men that are going to hold this line here. We will probably have to have additional forces there to help them. We'll put the 88th Regiment here in the armory. Oh, look at that. Now that's a proper defensive position. Look at that. What a wonder to see. Now, let's get these troops up and running here. If we have to defend, if we have to move off the walls, we shall do. With all due haste. We have a good complement of troops here, but we've got to be careful that we are not going to push ourselves too far here. We might keep some back in reserve. Now if we put them in the house here, now I think we'll put some here in the barracks, and in the barracks here as well. Our guns are perfectly aligned. We're going to begin this operation here. Now, let's actually divide these up into proper. Let's quick line. That's going to fall well short. What we might do is we might just place these gentlemen up a little bit further here. Excellent. Now that sets us a little bit far further forward here. So our guns can at least reach into the sort of hinterlands here of their deployment zone. Mind you, the deployment zone is vast. It really is. But we're going to play a waiting game here. Are they going to attack us, or do we need to move out against them? And we do have a real mailed fist here of this how cuirassiers here, guard cuirassiers. We're going to use them all together here. We're going to have one, as I said, one mailed fist here that's going to punch. Let's line them. Let's put them properly here so that we can at least. Look at that. If that doesn't warm the cockles of the heart, so nothing will. Now let's begin this battle here. Let's see how our enemy there in the background there. You can see the Crimea, the city itself. Let's begin the battle. Now they're moving towards us. Now is this go? I think we're going to set ourselves up well in advance here. Let's move it. Double time. Look at this. Goodness me, what a shot, sir. Marines eliminated. Sir. Double time, gentlemen. Off the wall. Oh, if that isn't a joy to see, I don't know what is. lads. Oh, that's more like it. Look at that. Absolutely decimated the Marines here. flank around there. Prepare yourselves, lads. The decimation, sir, of an entire Polish army. Can we capture them here in a sort of pincer movement here? Oh, look at that. Place, lads. Oh, lads. We've got to outrun these. Oh, what a barrage. them to the sword, lads. For goodness sake, gentlemen. Come on, put them to the sword, lads. Swarm them, lads. They look fantastic. Give them no quarter, sir. Time, please. Slightly, sir. These people are absolutely fantastic Spanish. These Polish forces, these Polish Cuirassier guards, they look wonderful. Fuck. Firing, lads. these have taken a huge amount of damage here. My goodness me. Oh yes. Absolutely slaughtered them, and it was thanks to the firepower, sir. It was thanks to that firepower. Look, we lost 560, they lost almost all their men. They've got 302 men left here. That was an absolute bloodbath, sir. Look at that foot artillery, wonderful there. The Cuirassier, the Garrison Guard did a phenomenal job there. Yes, on your way, sir. Now, we've got 11,336 here. We're definitely going to bring this army up to full strength as quickly as we can. Now that battle is over of the Crimea, it is important now that we discuss the primary plan, the primary focus here of the Council's decision. Now, as you can see here, let's quickly just go over what we have here. We've got Moscow, of course, here held by a very, very powerful army group here. Very powerful, probably our most powerful army group we have. It really is an absolute tour de force in terms of what we have available here. But as you can see, we're quickly being surrounded here by the Poles. Now, they're quite clearly going to be aiming for Moscow here. We've also got here St. Petersburg, which is semi-under threat. We've got a powerful army again here in the port here of Straya Ladoga here. Ladoga even. I'll say it right in a minute. And you can see here that's a very, very powerful force, including the Winged Hussars, who are an absolute brute in the charge. We've also got here, this is nothing, well, I say not to worry about. We've got to consider every enemy a threat, but this is not a threat per se here to the garrison. Of course, we've got the Russians here who have been cast aside quite brutally here by the Swedes, who have taken Finland as well. So you can see Sweden's power is starting to really increase quite a lot here. Now, I've got St. Petersburg as sort of as a real sort of backstop here, as our foothold within the east here. We've also got our very powerful army group here as well in Moscow. Moscow is being hit pretty hard now. Moscow does bring in 11,151 to us. Now, as you can imagine, that's going to hit us pretty hard if the plan here comes off here. So we're going to have to be. This is going to have to, really be set into motion very, very carefully here what we do. So we've also got down here in the south, as you can see, we've still got Poland moving in quite aggressively here. Now, we do have very powerful forces down here as well ourselves. Look at this. I mean, these armies really have been at the forefront of all of our. Look at this army in particular. Look how experienced it is. Under General Blackwolf here, absolutely. The epitome of their fighting here is shown here by the echelons of these forces. Again, this army here full to the absolutely packed to the rafters with Royal Welsh Fusiliers, Coldstream Guards. So we really do have highly elite forces here. We really do have and possess some fantastic forces. Now, as you can see here, we are raiding France, and indeed we are raiding a lot of Polish trade here indeed. So Polish, Great Britain, we've got nothing coming out of here at all because we're being raided pretty hard. We've got Venice, we're at peace with Venice, but I'd love to get down to this trade route here. That would be a fantastic, but we do have very powerful Polish fleets here outside sort of Gibraltar, and we have them here as well. They are loitering here as well. We've got a powerful fleet of our own here, but we can't do anything. We are hitting France here very hard, so we're hitting the French trade lines here. I don't believe we're hitting anything else. I don't think we're attacking any of the Polish trade lines. I think it is mostly French trade lines we're hitting here, because this is France here. So Poland doesn't have any influence here. Poland doesn't have anything coming out of here either. So what we are actually doing, we're striking most of the trade we're hitting here is actually French trade. All of the trade we're hitting is French trade. That's France as well. If we could hit that trade line there, that would be an absolute wonder. It really would. But this is all French trade, as you can see. There's Poland here coming off this, but I'd say this is probably the main line we're hitting here. And I'm not sure where any of Poland's trade lines are coming from, to be honest with you. It's there, but again, that's being hit pretty hard. we did have trade with Sweden here, but that's been cut off because of us being hit here, this Polish force here. Now, here is the main proposal here of the council. This really was the main theme running through all of the advice, all of the proposals, all the plans, and that was to basically turn the entire campaign on its head. Now, most of the council saying, you have absolutely, the top echelon elite forces here. We really do have the creme de la creme of British forces fighting here, as you can see in the south, or waiting to fight in the south. We really do have a mass of British forces here. Now, many of the council have called for us to turn our attention and to hit a particular enemy full on with everything we have here to pretty much eliminate that enemy in one go. And that enemy, my friends, is France. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, as you can probably see now, I shall actually put up right now, as you can see, the number of council members who actually advocated an attack on France right now, my friends. And it really does, I think it does probably look, it actually, not if, we are going to attack France. I know there's probably some council members who probably, maybe are dubious about what we're going to do here, attacking France. Maybe saying, "Mala, you're gonna have to pretty much move forces from the Mediterranean all the way into French territory here, and needs to move forces all the way through the Baltic Sea without it being attacked." Mind you, Baltic Sea is actually not too bad. Mind you, we've got the poles running through here, so this has to be planned meticulously here. And that includes trying to get these forces out from here as well. So we're going to need at least five ships here to get ourselves out of here. So we're going to immediately begin to recruit those ships. Now, I think sloops of war will probably do us here. We can't create one just there just yet, but we've got 4 ships there. And we are going to be attacking France, so that means moving all the way through the Baltic, all the way down here, and then landing in our first port of call is either going to be Hanover or Amsterdam. Now, Amsterdam, as you can see here, isn't defended at all by anything. Quite clearly, French forces aren't here. They are not going to be seeing this at all. As you can see, this region is still exempt from tax, which is mind-blowing. To think that is not, because that's why. Because they are getting real trouble here, the French, from the natives, from the lower class is giving them trouble. So quite clearly, if they didn't exempt this from tax, they'd have a rebellion on their hands, which is good for us. But look at that growth there, 28,565, staggering the amount of regional wealth here. Growth 148 per turn, which is pretty exceptional, and 15% here in terms of population growth as well, so not too bad. But again, the public order is going to be a problem for us as well. We've got Hanover, and we've got the Amsterdam, and indeed we've got Paris itself right here just waiting to be taken. Now, we don't have any information, no intel at all here on what is happening around France, Paris, Brussels, nor Hanover. So we can only assume the majority of French forces are going to be in Paris, potentially in Hanover, maybe even in Dresden, because remember, they were locked in a pretty brutal fight. Now, if we do take France, it's still going to put us in touch here with the Poles. But as many of the councils say, if we were to take all of this from France, the French Empire here would effectively collapse, because the homeland, the home base, has been taken over. That is going to be our goal. We are going to take the fight to them. We're going to do this, my friends. It's going to take a huge amount of thought, but what we're going to have to do is we're not going to go through the Gibraltar Straits. That's going to land us in trouble, trying to get around here all the way back into here. What we're going to do is we're going to attack the underbelly here through the Mediterranean Sea and land here. We're going to land in between the border of Spain and Savoy here. So we've got Spain itself and Savoy. We're going to land in this port here, probably Marseille, and we're going to drive upwards, probably striking for Strasbourg, striking for Paris, striking for we won't actually take, we'll see what we can get. If we can get this, if this army group here is actually moved to St. Petersburg, we'll actually dispatch it with the forces in St. Petersburg. As you can see here, we do have a very powerful force here, so that's going to give us 4 armies, including this army, which is not fully complete, but it still take part. So effectively we've got 5 armies nigh on here to attack Amsterdam and potentially take Hanover as well. I got a feeling the biggest fight is going to be at Paris. So that means landing the majority of our forces here on the coastline here in the south of France and punching massively up here, pushing all our weight into an attack through here. So we can probably follow the roads up through here past the Pyrenees, up here into France here, probably at Clermont. Are there any roads here? Unless we move through Dijon here and then move across here to Paris itself. So we might follow the roads here through. So we'll land sort of in Marseille, from Marseille to Lyon, then to Dijon, and then move on to Paris itself here. And then maybe even split the force off. So we have a powerful strike force of maybe 4 armies moving from Dijon, striking to Paris, and then another maybe 2 or 3 armies moving to Strasbourg here. Now that would put us in striking distance here of Stuttgart. And then the rest of our forces would be, we'd probably have 2 armies taking Amsterdam, and then we'd have another 2 armies moving in for Hanover, because remember, we're still going to be in touching distance here of the Poles. Now the Poles will attack us from these holdings they got here. We're still at war with them, unless we can get peace with the Poles. Now, a number of the councils are saying potentially you could hand over Moscow to Poland, and therefore driving a wedge between Poland and Russia. Now Russia's hostile towards us, but they're not allies with the Poles at all. So that might be a very, very good ploy indeed, is to give Poland Moscow as a peace accord and maybe even get some trade from them as well. That might offset what we're going to lose here in Moscow, because we're going to give up a huge amount of money here, which is going to hit us pretty hard. And in fact, as you can see here, they're going to be up against it here, because it's taken us all we can here to sort of quell this rebellion here. So as you can imagine, moving out of here, giving Poland Moscow, as many of the council have suggested, if we give Moscow to Poland, and even giving Crimea, because many said Crimea really isn't important to us at all. It's just more, it's a footnote, to be honest with you, in the battles we've had. And that's not to sort of undermine the battles we've had, because they've been incredibly important battles. And actually, to that end, I think we might move this force here. Well, we can't. That's going to be stuck there because of this Polish force here. Now, I think the first task we're going to do is try and gain peace with Poland. So what we're going to try and do is give Crimea to Poland for peace. Let's just see if that'll work. No. They're very hostile towards us. However, what if we were to try and give them Moscow? Now, I know that we fought hard for Moscow, but to be honest with you, we're not really gaining anything here at all. If we're going to take this fight to France, we need to free up these forces. These are going to be the spearhead into Amsterdam. This force here, I mean, look at it. It is just, I mean, it is the apple in the eye of the British military. It really is a wonderful force. We're going to have to free this up now. What if we were to give them Moscow? It's tricky. This is going to be very, very tricky here, what we do. We're going to lose a lot of money if we do this. Let's see if we can get a trade agreement as well at the same time. Now, oh my goodness me, what the blazes are they doing? We're not going to give them Scotland, but they want Romalia. So they want Romalia. They want Greece. And they want Scotland. So if we do this now, because we can get peace with them, and get a peace treaty. Let's counter offer. We'll give them Greece, and we'll give them Romalia. Now Romalia, of course, is Istanbul, so we're going to lose a lot of money here. But if we also want a trade agreement with them at the same time. Right. I mean, that is just insane. Okay, they're unfriendly with us now, which is absolutely fine. Now, as you can see here, we've pushed back here. We're minus 4,364. So we've been hit pretty hard here in terms of our income here. Let's just readjust this. We've lost a tremendous amount here. We've given up a tremendous amount. We've got peace, we've got trade with them as well, but this is going to hurt. So we got Poland off our back here now. So could we actually move down to here and take... and really hit France where it hurts? But we need this fleet here.
Shipshape and Bristol fashion, Captain.
We need this fleet here to be able to move forces away. So what we're going to have to do... would this fleet be able to make it out there though? That's the key. Yes, it would. Okay, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to... my goodness me, look how many fleet, look how many arms we've got here. We're gonna have to send this. We're gonna have to send this fleet up to here to try and raid this here, because our raiding is going to be. Right, let's get to here. Let's do this while we've got a chance. Right, that's more like it now then. Right, now we've got ourselves on an even keel here. This is where it's really, really important now. We had to do that. Now it's time that we got this. Now we've given them Romalia, we've given them Greece as well. So we've pretty much abandoned everything we've worked for here. This is going to take a long time to do. Got to get the fleets up to here now and attack France. Now we can't do that just yet. We just have to bide our time at the moment. What have we got here now? So we've got this force here as well, guarding here, but that's not really going to do as much, is it? Here, France have got nothing in here as well. They've got nothing here either. What are we hitting with them here? Good grief, we've just absolutely decimated their trade lines here. So we're going to just have to wait. We're going to play a waiting game now. I know this looks like a complete mess here. I know this looks like a completely unorganized mess. But the problem was, if we hadn't done this and gained peace with Poland, the chances are Poland would have attacked us. We'd have been pretty much pulled into a massive fight with Poland. All these forces would have been drained and been in no fit state to fight at all. Now, if Poland attacks us again, we'll simply move back and reoccupy everything here. It's as simple as that, because these forces here are more than enough to steamroll everything that's in the area here. So we're not in we're not in a bad position. What we are in at the moment is just a position we got to wait. We're offending now with them. It's minus 58. We've got a trade agreement now. We're going to try just to play things nice and calm here. Now, their enemies are Sweden. Now we've got allies are Westphalia and Genoa here. So we're just going to try and keep things like we actually got still hold of Moscow here, which means we can probably replenish and repair some of these places here now, and actually bring Moscow back up to full strength. And try and get things running back into full again. I think that might be the best thing for us. As you can see here, the regional wealth here is absolutely fantastic. We can still use this. They've backed away from here, so we've got this port here that's going to need replenishing. All of these can be replenishing. What's that going to cost us here? 2,260. So we're going to start replenish all of these. Goodness me, we are right on the brink of a rebellion again here. And also the lumber mill as well here. So we're going to have to bring all of this back up to full strength. and make the most. We've still got Moscow, but eventually we are going to have to abandon this as well. I know this looks like a complete unorganized mess at the moment. We've got all of these forces here, but we've just simply got to try and bide our time here. We're going to recruit. How many do we need here? My goodness me, there's a lot. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'd say we need 15 ships here. Now we can't. The reason we've got to move this fleet up here is to raid the French here. As you can see, this needs to be here to raid the French. We need the money from raiding their trade lines, as you can quite clearly see here. That's dropped by 18,000. So as you can see, that's hitting us pretty hard, that tax income. We've lost 18,000 there. But if we can strike against France here, and indeed from here, now we can move. Actually, we can move these armies now one by one back up to St. Petersburg ready. So that's in fact what we're going to do. We'll leave this army here to the last moment.
Setting up camp. Forwards! March! Army! Not possible, sir.
But not possible.
Can't do it, sir. Can't do that, General. Your Majesty.
So we're actually going to start moving these forces into place. Remember, we've got 4 sloops of war ready here as well. We're going to probably need 5. We will need 5 here, because eventually we're going to abandon this as well. We're going to abandon it completely. So we've got trade and peace with Poland, which the council did actually call for. The council did actually call for us to peace with Poland. We've got the Crimea still here. I think we'll just keep a hold of this just for the meantime. It's just about under control. Exempt that from tax. What will that do there? Drop it down to 15,000, which we might well do. If we want to hold on to the Crimea on the sort of the, I wonder if what we'll do if we exempt tax from this here. What will that do for us? Yeah, that's going to hit us pretty hard there, and just about keep things under control. So at the moment, it's not really worth it. We might hold on to the Moscow. What we might actually do is send this force here. We might strip this force out. Actually, it's just got such fine troops. It would be such a waste to not to send all these. Mind you, we need to hold on to St. Petersburg. So in fact, this army will probably hold on to St. Petersburg, where we'll send an army group, probably on this force here as well. Because that's the dilemma we've got here. And we can't move through here either to get to them. We're pretty much isolated here in Moscow. So we might even give Moscow to Poland. Because that will, of course, reinforce and actually give them a lot of power as strength as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to stop that there. Keep that 5,000 here. I think we'll hold on to St. Petersburg though. To that end, I think what we'll do is we'll just continue our recruitment here of what we need here. To keep St. Petersburg, we'll probably make this army. Actually, we've probably got enough. We've got enough horse there. Just enough, I think. Yeah, that should be enough. That's enough. We just need 4 units here to make this to complete. We'll probably abandon Moscow in its entirety. We'll probably give this to Poland. As one council member said, what we need to do is drive a sort of a wedge between the Russians and the Poles. Now, if we give the Poles Moscow, we're going to lose 11,000 there. We'll give that to them the last moment, and then once we're prepared, once we're ready to strike against France, we will then give them Moscow, so that when we take Amsterdam, because we don't know that big, but I imagine that's going to bring in a lot of money. And also once we take Paris, that will offset us here. So again, it's going to be a moment now where we just wait. We just got to wait and bide our time here to make sure that everything just works out in time well for us here. I'm sure we got nothing going here, of course, because we've been hit here. But have they opened up this trade route for us now? Indeed, they have. Excellent. We just need to get rid of France, and then we'll open up this, and we'll be back, my friends, to where we need to be. Now, this has been a very, very difficult campaign indeed. very difficult campaign. We've got the victory, and we've got this heavy first rate. They're going to be going back up to here to really fill this naval force out here. We're going to make this naval force very, very powerful. But my friends, it's going to be France. France is where we're going to be striking. Amsterdam, Hanover, Brussels, Paris. I think our first attack will be here. These four, Hanover, Amsterdam, Brussels, and Paris will be the first four. These will have to strike out. Now we're at peace with Poland. Hopefully we can move in here and take these at our own will. We'll have to take Hanover if we want to take Saxony anyway. And the same for Strasbourg. We'll have to move into Strasbourg. Probably split a force off from here now. Actually, what we need to do is we've got a spy. We need this spy to be all the way up here now. He's going to take a very long while for that gentleman to get there. How many other agents we got here? Oh, he's in Transylvania, so he's even closer. Excellent. So we'll move this gentleman.
Taking cover. My eyes.
We've got our spies moving through here. As I said, if things go a little bit pear-shaped, we can take Greece in a heartbeat. We can probably even we can definitely take Istanbul. So that means they'll probably redeploy these troops, which means if things don't go as they're meant to be, we can always immediately move back into territory, and we can probably even just absolutely, because we've got all of these forces now in one place, we can probably just absolutely walk across all of these Polish armies, give them the real thrashing, move back to what we took originally. I know it's a little bit of a sort of a jumbled, higgledy-piggledy, seems such a chaotic sort of campaign, but that is the way it has to be, my friends. But I will carry out the council's wishes, and that is to take France. But my friends, that is where we're going to leave this campaign. I know it has been a little bit chaotic. I know it has been a little bit all over the place, my friends. But I hope now we can at least move on France, and also it will give us the close proximity to Britain as well. So just a sort of a hop, a skip, and a jump through the English Channel, hopefully to here, which we can take. Now that would be absolutely fantastic. But it's got to be coordinated. The forces moving from here have to also move at the same time with these forces. We have to hit France simultaneously. We can't have a staggered attack. If we hit them with the St. Petersburg force, they can then sort of move all their forces and take Amsterdam back from these gentlemen, and these will be months and months behind, and then then they'll be able to turn their full weight back upon us here. It has to be a coordinated fight, a coordinated strike, and in fact we could probably get another 4 ships here. Look at that. So in fact that's worked out just right for us. So already we've got eight ships already en route. So next turn we'll have 8 ships ready. We can then pick up the majority of these forces. These forces can also then be picked up here, because we've got ships being recruited here and built, and then we can move on them. It's pretty similar. We move 8 armies immediately into France. We can move 4 armies into Amsterdam, and then we'll send the ships back, pick up the remainder forces, and move back. So that's the plan, my friends. It's chaotic. It's moving rapidly all the time and changing, evolving all the time, but I really want to put the squeeze on France as best I can here, really give them a sound thrashing here, as the council has called upon. And the council's wishes, the council's proposals and plans will always be followed through, always, my friends. But I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Again, if you have any comments, any plans, if you don't, please, my friends, as always, if you don't think that we're doing the right thing, or if you think we're doing the right thing, or you've got any alterations to the plans, anything you want to change, anything at all, please let me know, my friends, because we're on the brink now of potentially knocking out a very powerful foe indeed, and that's attacking a massive, it's going to be a huge invasion. But my friends, hope you've enjoyed it. Whatever you're doing, please be safe. But until next time, my friends, bye for now.